Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the amazing, the versatile, the completely enthusiastic Dr. Yukon Suckit. That's right, Yukon Suckit. And today I am broadcasting to you from my secret underground headquarters. And I'm bringing you a deck that I found over at the MTGA zone, which is called AZORIUS Aggro. And I was poking around looking for some decks that looked interesting. And I thought here's the deal, is that I'm a big fan of Azorius. I used to have an Azorius deck in the past I really loved. It had course flyers, right? But it also had a lot of exile. It was like, as things came into play, that's right, I remember now, it would exile out a creature, and then I would copy that card and then exile something else out. I would just pin down like everything in somebody else's deck to where it was just my dudes, and then hopefully I had a few flyers that they couldn't block otherwise, and then the game would be over. Love that deck, but that was Ravnica ago. It was a while back, right? And since then, Azorius has kind of sucked. It's either sucked or else it's been full of decks that I hated for one reason or another. I don't quite remember. I kind of can feel a little bit of hate deep inside me, right? So I've been thinking lately, it's like, I really kind of miss Azorius. I kind of would like to see what's going on. So when I saw this deck out there, I thought, yes, let's give it a play. Let's see how well that's going to work out. Now, looking at this deck, I don't see, obviously, there's nothing strong in here. This is the strongest set of cards, and they're twos. And it's like, is this deck really going to hold together? But we'll try out. I just can't imagine this deck being a winner. Let's just go through the cards. We'll try to pick it together. We'll see if we can figure out how it's going to work, and then we'll take it out on the track and test it. At the low end, and there's a lot at the low end, we'll start off with Guiding Voice. And so for 1 mana, you can put a +1 counter on a target creature and learn. And we'll get to the lessons in a little bit. We have Homestead Courage, which puts a +1 counter on a target creature you control. And it gets Vigilance until the end of the turn with Flashback. The interesting thing with Flashback there is that it also costs just 1 mana. So if you got 2 white mana, you could play this card twice in the same turn, it looks like. We got Monk of the Open Hand. Okay, so this guy is a 1/1 for 1. And whenever you cast your second spell for each turn, you put a +1 counter on him. Okay, so here's a guy where you put him out, and then if you were to cast this on him once, he goes from being a 1/1 to a 2/1. At which point, then, if you could put out another thing, then, like the same card, he'll become a 4/4 at that point with Vigilance. Double Vigilance, actually. So, you could do that by turn, 2? Turn 2. Yep, you could do that. 4/4. Well, that's a nice little hit. All right, we got Usher of the Fallen. So this dude comes out, and he's a 2/1, and when he attacks, which would be on your next turn, you could pay 2 mana. Hopefully, you should have 2 mana by that point. And you can create a 1/1 white human token. So you got 2 dudes. So you do 2 points of damage into yourself. On the turn after that, you'll be able to attack for 3. So it helps you to get a horde going to a certain degree. If this is the only guy putting out creatures, I don't know how horde-y it's going to be. But, it'll be a few dudes. You got a party going on, right? Consider. So this is, you never see this being played. On the other hand, I think we're really desperate for cards that only cost you 1 mana and are the blue and white category. So this one says we take a look at the top card of your library, and you can choose to put that into your graveyard, not on the bottom of your library. So then you draw a card. I'm going to yawn here. There you go. All right, so there you go. You got a little bit of, it's not much card draw there, but it's a little bit of something. And you get to make good use of it too. Let's see. So we got Fading Hope, which is actually a great card. I'm glad that it's in here. There are 4 of it. That is fantastic. So with this, you can bounce a target creature back to its owner's hand. And if its mana value is 3 or less, you get to scry. So a little bit of making sure that the next card you're getting is going to be worth getting. All right, so that's the stuff that costs 1. For 2, we've got Clarion Spirit. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you create a 1/1 white spirit token with flying. So we got more dudes coming out. This time it's on your second spell being cast, which is a lot like Monk of the Omen Hand. So this guy gets beefier. This guy just makes friends that fly. Then we got Luminarch Aspirant, who puts +1/+1 counters on target creatures that you control. I would try to put them on flyers, I guess. I mean, I guess if you're trying to then outrace somebody, maybe putting it on something that's growing fast, like Monk of the Open Hand. We got the Ledger Shredder. And this guy is a 1/3 for 2 with flying. Great. Whenever a player casts their second spell, he connives. Connives allows you to draw a card, and then you have to discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, you put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, which is this creature. So this guy will grow, and hopefully you'll have cards to throw away, or won't feel bad about throwing away. The only problem is you have to play at least. You'll be drawing only 1 per turn. Well, this guy will let you pull a second one. So yeah, I was going to say 1 per turn, but then you need to be casting 2 per turn to be able to make all your dudes pump, right? So we'll see. Hopefully we'll be able to get enough cards into our hand that we can do that. We got the Stormchaser Drake, who costs 2, and he's a 2/1, and he flies. Whenever he becomes the target of a spell you control, which would be anything that's like Guiding Voice or Homestead Courage. I don't think Fading Hope would be what you really worry about. But anyways, you get to draw a card. Okay, even Fading Hope then. So if you're looking to save this guy, you bounce him back to your hand, and you get to draw a card. So that's not too bad. Other than that, he'll start drawing cards for you, which means you'll be picking something that's probably going to be a 1 or possibly a 2 mana. And depending upon how much mana you have, you could maybe even play another card almost immediately. And a nice chain of card playing events there. Over here in the land category, we've got 2 Frost Dragons. What else we got? Hall of the Storm Giants. So that's a total of 3-man lands. We got the Kamigawa land that does throw 4 points of damage to target attacking a blocking creature. This one bounces stuff back to their owner's hand. We got some half-fast dual lands. We got some regular basic lands in here. And some fast dual lands. In the sideboard, our lessons are Academic Probation, which you choose one, choose a non-land card name. Opponent can't cast spells with the chosen name until your next turn. Or choose non-land permanent until the end of turn it cannot activate or block. And its activated abilities cannot be activated. We got 2 Environmental Sciences, which allows you to pay 2 as you go through your library for a basic land, reveal it. Put it into your hand and then shuffle. You gain 2 life, so there's a little bit of life gain. And you're not putting out extra lands, but you're definitely stacking up the lands you do have the ability to put out in your turn. We got Teachings of the Archaics. Teaching of the Archaic is if your opponent has more cards in hand as you do, you draw 2 cards. Draw 3 cards if your opponent has at least 4 more cards than you do. So just a little something, because we are planning on burning through our cards pretty quickly, because we need to be able to pump our dudes up. We got 2 expanded anatomies right here, which expanded anatomy allows you to put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, and it gains vigilance, making it a stronger version of Homestead Courage without the flashback on it. And lastly, because if you have the ability to do lessons, you might as well put at least 1 Mascot Exhibition in there. I don't know if we're ever going to get up to 7 mana, but if we do, at least we got it in there. It would suck to need it and not have it versus having it and not needing it. Plus, you know, you can go look for other things. I mean, we have whatever it is, 4 learn spells in here, so you have the ability to pick 4 out of 7, and that ain't bad. All right, so that's everything in the deck. I gotta say, I still think this deck's a little on the shy side. I'm not sure how well it can hold up, but we'll see how well it does. All right, so we're playing against MrMuffin. Guess I have to push a button here, don't I? Yeah, keep it. I'm good to go. 1, 1, 2, 1. I got 3 mana. I got like a whole extra mana I don't even need. Just throw it away right now. Boast. Second spell. I'm going to start off with a little boasting action is what I'm going to do. Mana number 2. Give me a dude. There we go. Cracked open precious. That's just wrong. Magecraft. All right, here is our third. What are we going to do here? Wish this was an instant. It is not. Wheel of Misfortune, turn, turn, turn. And which lesson shall we learn? What are you going to do with that green? You going to snakeskin veil me? Yeah. Let's frog it up. I kind of feel like we just need to just spray out some babies. There's plenty of time for those other things. I mean, Ledger Shredder would probably be pretty sweet. If I got another mana, I'd probably start thinking about it. What are you doing, MrMuffin? Oh, no. Well, he served his business. He served his duty proudly and with distinction and honor. There you are, Usher of the Fallen. This guy's trying to sneak me, huh? There we go. Let's go ahead and connive up here. What are we conniving here? Connive. Consider. No tax. They don't need to go to the slaughter for no particular reason. And another one, another Magecrafter. It was funny, I was taking a look, somebody was putting out the Magecraft deck today, and I thought, nah, that looks kind of lame. I mean, it looks cool. I swear, like, I kind of already played it in the past or something. Alright, looks like we got speed bumps now. Alright, that's what you're going to be about it. Let's go ahead and put out another blue, just in case. Alright, how can we maximize ourselves here? This will get us up by 2 and give us vigilance. That will get us up by another 1. Alright, what are we getting rid of here? Let's get rid of Clarion Spirit. And what do we got? 4 mana here. I'm thinking another, because we're not going to get up to 7. I doubt that's going to happen. Expanded mana. That sounds good. Power in, Space Cowboy. If you're just going to chump your dudes, it's going to kind of suck for you. I'm just going to chump them. Oh. chump. Do your duty. Protect your master. That's not a whole lot of chump in there. Nice. Yeah, whatever. Let's get to 7 now because we're not going to get to it. Yoink. $12. There we go, Mr. Muffin. Winner, winner, victory dinner. All right, we're playing against SarumanMx. I'm not sure what MX stands for. SarumanMx. 2 mana. 1, 2, and 1. Everything costs 1. We'll keep it. This one card will play my entire hand. Let's see, if we need to get things out fast, we got to either hope for a white mana or I'm going to have to play this and be slow about it. And since I am, what is it, on the play, I don't get to draw. No choices there. Alright, Usher, the Fallen. Here's my blue. Yeah, white mana, sure, I'll take that. Alright, tapped on in, send it in. This guy is the Boaster, yep. 1 attack. Activate. Wonder Twin powers. Form of a hairy Viking dude. Alright, let's get dangerous. I know I want another guy is what I want though. Let's go for this. I think he'll give it up. All right. Do I want to do a consider now because I have the ability? No, I'll spit out a monk with an open hand. How's that fight rigging working out for you there, buddy? Okay, if the Incredible Hulk was a rhinoceros, what would he look like? Yep, no box. Have a good time. What am I grabbing? We'll grab another one of those. And we'll send them all in. And we got him down to 5. Looking very promising. He's got to start playing the defense, unfortunately for him. But I do have a lot of creature pump. Which means if he can't put out at least one other blocker, he's a little on the screwed side. And then he's going to start losing dudes. You gotta get another guy out, man. Yeah, 2 mana. And we win. See you later, SarumanMx. All right, we're playing against Wonder Frank. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Wonder Frank. And we've got 2 mana, and everything costs 1. We're going to keep it. That monk is looking really good right now. Let's give Wonder Frank the hello dance. Hello. Yeah, I don't like the way that Jace looks at me. Look at this. Look at that stink eye. That is my only creature, so yeah, we're going to let it happen. Now it's not quite so much an only creature, though, is it? What does it want to do? Second cards for each turn? Ledger Shredder. Have a good time, man. What's funny is I thought this monk with open hand always had like first strike or something. Oh my god, we're playing against Hasty Red Aggro. One. Oh, blue. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to play this. Like sucker. What am I getting rid of? We'll get rid of the other consider. Yeah, I like Fading Hope. That's pretty sweet. Let's see. Is he going to give it up? Yeah, he's not going to give it up. He'll think, I can power my way through. Well, it's like I got to play at least 2 per turn. No thanks, I'm cool. I got 2 mana. Oh, good, 3 mana. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. So let us. One. 2. What are we getting rid of here? Ooh. Let's get rid of Fading Hope. I like them, but Guiding Voices sounds so much better at the moment. Alright, so I have the ability to save myself. Ledger Shredder is now Vigilant, which makes him even better. Fading Hope is a great card coming into this next turn. One. Dude, I got you killed on the next turn. Yeah, pass. I got tons and tons and tons of life. Is this where he does a magical 13 points of damage out of nowhere to me? And this is where he gives up. See you later, Wonder Frank. It's been real. Victory! Alright, so here we are with AZORIUS Aggro. And I gotta say, this deck has performed very well. Let's see. In my own play test of this thing, I've gotten, what, 7 games in. I've got a 71% win rate with this deck. That's really good. So, the other thing to look at is, look at this. Here's the 1 mana spells. Here's the 2 mana spells. Here's the 3, 4, and 5 sitting right here between the 2 of them, as in there aren't any. It's just 1 mana and 2 mana spells and land. I mean, the most expensive cards are in your sideboard waiting for lessons in case you make it up there. So yeah, that is an incredibly cheap deck. Let's take a look at that. It's a 1.4 average deck. That is insanely cheap. So this deck, what it lacks in just raw power and tricksiness, it makes up in its in being aggro, in being super cheap and super aggro. Because the big thing we're trying to leverage here, of course, is playing 2 spells per turn, trying to get all the things to double up, maybe even boasting a little bit to get your a bunch of little weenies out there. And then just coming in faster than they have the ability to deal with. It's essentially the Azorius version of, mono red aggro. So there's not a whole lot of tricksiness to this. It really is just slam your dudes out and hope for the best. The thinking comes from trying to maximize those, your cards to get those 2 out per turn. And, this deck actually helps you deliver on those promises. What are the key cards? What did the best? To me, it's Ledger Shredder. This guy there's a reason why you're seeing him everywhere right now. It's that connive, right? People say 2, so therefore you're able to draw a card, which means you can pick something you potentially like, throw away something that you don't really care about. And this guy gets a +1/+1 counter, provided you're getting rid of a non-land. This guy is excellent, right? What other creatures in here are fantastic? What's funny is that, to me, like Usher of the Fallen, it's like I found as long as I get this guy out early, I'd much rather just sit there and boast him continuously, getting out more and more 1/1 tokens early, and let the rest of my cards just sit in my hand doing nothing. I just felt like that was a better investment because, and eventually you're going to have to, I guess it's not really capitalizing on the early game as much as I could. But man, just being able to get out those extra 1/1s just feels good for some reason. The Monk of the Open Hand, he's great to have out there, gaining his +1 every time you get your 2 spells out per turn. These 2 cards do a fantastic job of being 1 mana. So the only biggest problem you have here is just trying to make sure you get, white mana or blue mana for the blue mana stuff. But, there's a nice balance here because it's pretty much almost like 50-50, right? The only thing is it looks like white's got an additional 4 set that should be blue potentially. Over on the sideboard, it's funny is that, I was avoiding the environmental sciences, which is what you usually pull like crazy, right? It was expanded anatomy. Those were the ones I really wanted because it was wonderful when they got vigilance out of the deal, which is the same thing that Homestead Courage did. So this one gives them 1 mana and vigilance, and it has flashback. And the cool part is that the flashback costs just as much as the card costs itself. It's not like it got more expensive. So if I had 2 white mana, I could play it twice on the same turn. But then Expanded Anatomy gave them the pluses. So I was able to get the Ledger to beef up super quickly. He just goes beef, 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 beef. And then he had vigilance, so that even though I was attacking with them, I could sit there and still be a pretty decent defender. That can happen for a lot of stuff. And of course, you got Luminarch getting out there, pumping things up. My only big problem is I end up focusing too much on one thing. But, when you got something that has evasion, you're kind of like, well, that's what's going to take it, right? I suppose if I had some Stormchasers out too, I'd start pumping those guys up. That's always good, especially since targeting them gets you the ability to draw a card. And since everything is going to be more than likely 1 mana, it's a great way of burning through your deck so you can get those double things going. The big problem is that it's not like it's every 2 cards things pump. It only happens 1 time per turn, so you're kind of limited on what you're capable of getting. But this deck has a great track record, and it seems to perform very well. So let's give it the rating. Question is this deck competitive? And I think the answer to that is yes, it is. And then the question is it fun? And I think the answer to that is I'll give it a 75% fun ratio there. The reason why is just because it's not that tricksy. It's just kind of like, it's like super fast getting the dudes out and going for it. And there's not really any ability to take out other people's creatures. So you don't have any control. It lacks a lot of the fun for me. The only way I can find this as being fun is if I can get a nice train of cards going on so that I can play things and get my, the second cards out per turn so that I can get my guys to sort of ramp a lot quicker than what they have the ability to deal with. That's the fun part, but it's not quite as fun as it should be. And so lastly is there a theme? Well, the theme in here is, play 2 cards. The problem is that I'm going to give it to it. I'm going to give it that it does have a theme. I'm going to put that as like a 60% theme, just because I want to see creatures that are more alike or have some sort of something about them that links them together. I don't know. They're all hanging out together, high-fiving in a field somewhere or something. But when you just have like a Drake and a Bird Advisor and a dude with a shiny mace and a spirit, it's just like there's not much of a story being told here. It's just a bunch of dudes that make advantage of being able to play more than one card per turn. So what's that going to get rated? I mean, being that it's a decently competitive deck, I'm going to give it at least an A, and that's where it's going to sit because the fun ratio it's worth playing, but it's not super fun. There's not much of a theme, but I'm not going to take away any points from it. So I'm just going to give this deck a solid A. I mean, it definitely is a good deck. It's good playing. Maybe even take it on the ladder. I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't seem like it's that much of a winner from what you're capable of doing. But the fact that it's a consistent winner because it does a good job of getting out early. And by mid-game, usually you are pretty close to killing them. And so if they got some control, though, you're toast. They're able to get dudes out as fast as you're toast. If they can block flying fairly well, you're toast. There's a lot of openings in this thing to just have the game be over with. But still, that's the way it is when you play aggro. So anyways, I hope you have as much fun or more fun than I did when I played this deck. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, screw you guys, I'm going home. Bye.